enough of that crossover crap. I really wasn't expecting to have to talk that much about that crossover. It's funny too because I, I I didn't even like realize how freaking bad it was until I started talking about it as far as like the anticlimactic battle between Green Arrow and Flash and how the marketing for it was all Green Arrow versus Flash and it was just another example of the bad writing, like bad, like microwave, like MTV generation, instant gratification, fucking rushed, fucking writing. I mean, if hell, fucking the Mask and fucking Ace Ventura fucking animated series crossover where fucking Stanley Ipkiss's fucking dog gets mind controlled and kidnapped, and he calls on Ace Ventura, pet detective, to fucking help him find his dog, and then fucking then the second part was on. Well, yeah, the first part was a Mask episode, and then Ace Ventura's pet monkey fucking takes the mask with him back to Florida, and then that's where they conclude the crossover on Ace Ventura Pet Detective. That was handled better. And yes, look that up. That was a thing. That was handled better because I actually buy why each character is in each other's universe in those episodes. We're here, it's fucking the materials made to make Captain Boomerang's boomerang were made in Central City. Okay, well that's gonna be the C4 crossover. That's gonna be the reason why we have a crossover. That's what we're gonna the foundation that we're gonna build this whole crossover on. And then we get to the Arrow. Oh well, we just wanted to check out the Arrow Cave. Okay, so here we are. I've been really looking forward to this. Episode 309, the mid-season finale of Arrow Season 3. This is horseshit. The script for this episode is just a pile of horseshit that was chicken scratched on a legal pad a half hour before shooting. It's the creme de la crap, if you will. It's like the Batman Arkham Knight PC port of fucking television scripts. It is that broken. It is that silly, off the wall, ridiculous. There's actually a scene in this episode that with Malcolm Merlin, which it's almost like a scene from freaking like Battlefield Earth, the Nick Cage Wicker Man movie, or the Happening, in its unintentional hilariousness of it. It absolutely baffles me that the script for this episode, it met the approval of all the writers, all the producers, the showrunners. It met the approval of Warner Brothers Television Studios to make the show. It met the approval of the CW network. Network had no objections. And since this is a licensed property, it had to meet the approvals of DC Comics because it's dealing with their intellectual property. It had to meet their approval. It met their approval. Then they went ahead and shot it. And then the fucking actors and the director were okay with it. It didn't suggest any changes or anything. Apparently, as far as I know, there wasn't any big controversy or anything. Any stories about the on-set controversy about shooting this episode. So I assume everything went smoothly. It absolutely blows my fucking mind that no one had a problem with this fucking episode. And it says something that the most relatable person, the most relatable character in this entire episode is an immortal man who makes grandiose speeches about replacing evil with death and is a psychopath who murders people. I relate to him the most out of all the other characters in this episode because they're all acting so illogical and ridiculous. That is how bad this script is. This is by far the worst episode of any show of this type I have ever seen. It's the worst hour of television I have ever seen of this kind of genre type show. Now keep in mind, I've seen 24 season 6. Just to give you an idea how fucking bad that season was, there was a whole episode where Jack Bauer teams up with a mentally retarded man to take down terrorists in a pathetic attempt to pander to their target audience. I've seen The Walking Dead Season 2 where they had an episode where they are trying to get a fat-ass zombie out of a well to meet the network mandated zombie quota of imposed on The Walking Dead. Now, these people who say that The Walking Dead is about the characters and not the zombies, fuck you. Network sure doesn't agree with you. So they had to shoehorn in a zombie scene, their one zombie scene. And since they were suffering from major fucking budget cuts at the time, and whole other behind the scenes bullshit, they dedicated half a fucking episode to about at least half the cast trying to get a fast zombie out of a well. So there's a zombie in this fucking well on the farm, and they want to get it out so the drinking water doesn't get contaminated. But just the mere fact that there's a fat ass zombie in there drooling, pissing, and shitting, and God knows what else, bleeding in the well already, I think it's pretty contaminated. I don't know about you, but I would think that water's pretty fucking stanky right now. It's pretty fucking foobar. So, but hey, they try anyway, because I guess the logic is, as long as he doesn't bleed, like obviously bleeding, even though, how do they fucking know? Then, as long as he isn't bleeding, getting his blood and guts in the water, then it's fine. So, hey, let's spend half this episode trying to get this fat-ass zombie up. So they wrap a rope around him. All the characters try to pull the fat-ass zombie up. And then, like, just as they're about to get the zombie, like, over the well and onto the ground, the rope shears the zombie in half, and then all his blood and guts spill into the water. Yes, this was an episode. Keep that in mind. Just like this episode of Arrow, it had to meet network approval, writer approval. You know, all the writers and producers had to agree with it. The network had to be okay with it. The studio producing it had to be okay with it. The actors acted it out. The director shot it. That was an episode. And you know what? At the time, it probably was a fucking ratings record for AMC. They actually made that. That was a thing. Look it up. I'm sure you can. It may still be fresh in people's minds. It was only just a few years ago. It's on fucking Blu-ray. You gotta go back and watch that and talk about how fucking awesome it is and how great zombies are and all the other bullshit. So, okay, so with that said, despite watching that hunk of horseshit, despite watching fucking 24 season 6 with the fucking, you know, God, the myriad of fucking problems that season had where they ran out of story at one point. And you know what? I think it was like episode like 17 with the remaining 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 7 episodes. It was basically filler. By episode 17, the writers ran out of story, and they had to tack on an additional 7 episodes. But at least with that season of 24, the producers admitted that they fucked up. They admitted that, well, the things they admitted to was that they were repeating themselves, which, yes, that was a problem. Yes. And I would make the argument they've been repeating themselves since the 3rd season of the show. And that's actually what kind of started making me feel kind of indifferent about that show, because I really like the first 2 seasons. And this is not to say that those seasons onward, like from the third season onward, there were nuggets of really good ideas, but it was kind of wrapped up in kind of a bunch of like redundant tropes and cliches at that point. It was kind of hard to sift through the really good stuff from the redundant stuff we've already seen like 10 billion times. Well, that's my whole spiel about 24. So yeah, so at least they were willing to admit that. They were willing to admit that they were repeating themselves and that they ran out of story. And you know what they said? You know what? We're going to try better next time. And you know what? My hat's off to them for admitting they fucked up. It doesn't excuse what they've done, but at least they admitted they fucked up. These people over, Mark Guggenheim, these people over at Arrow, they think they did an awesome job. They think this is awesome. What the hell is wrong with them? I guess it's just one of those situations where it's just like you can't see the forest from the trees. You're just so like knee deep in the shit that you can't, you kind of have blinders on. You kind of can't really see what's really happening. You can't really have an unbiased opinion. So anyway, getting into the episode. So it starts off, the League ambushes Oliver, and they capture him. They take him before Nisa, and they tell Oliver that Roz is giving him 48 hours to find Sarah's killer, or the League is going to start killing innocent people in Starling City. And the responsibility of this, cleansing of Starling City is going to fall upon a guy named Sarab, aka Maceo. And I made the mistake earlier of saying that Maceo was a fanfiction character. I guess he actually is someone in DC Comics. I'm going to try to keep these comments about this episode to like a minimum, these kind of side comments I'm making now. Because I just want to get through the episode and kind of describe what happens. Try not to crack up. I'm going to try to describe what happens, and then I'll talk about all the problems, because it's so layered. There's so many fucking problems. It's so dense. Every single frame has so much going on. So, so it ends up being Maceo, and as I mentioned before, like way back, like part, 5 or 6, eye roll moment. I'm just like, come on, guys, really? Really? It's gonna fall on Maceo? Of all the people on the planet Earth that could have ended up in the League of fucking Assassins, who would then be charged with destroying Starling City right in front of Oliver because of something Oliver did. It's the guy from the third year flashbacks of the fucking show, so it perfectly aligns with the third season of the fucking show. Oh man. Okay, so we're already off to a really bad start. So, it's revealed that he joined the League after some tragic crap that happened. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck about those flashbacks? So, Laurel meets with Thea. She reveals, Sarah's dead. And, she makes Thea promise not to tell Oliver. Because, they're still hiding Oliver's identity as Green Arrow from Thea. Which is ridiculous. Thea should be able to figure it out by now. Easily. But they're still keeping up the ruse. Sorry, side comments, right. Side comments minimum. So DC's Iron Man, and Felicity, there's some bullshit drama there. And Felicity's upset with him for running off after they kissed like a couple episodes back. And thinking that he regretted it. And DC's Iron Man reveals to Felicity that he felt guilty because his wife died during the season 2 finale last year with the fucking Miracle soldiers and the siege of the city and things. And that was only a few months prior, so of course he's on a big guilt trip. Understandable.